Hello, and welcome to another video. I'm just going to go over quick min-maxing stuff, since there's been quite a few questions. I will cover this as short and simple as I can for those who want to know for min-maxing for themselves. As soon as you hit a total item rating, meaning all 14 pieces hit around 4599, so you basically just add all of them up, you'll automatically get rounded up to 329. This is not what you want because this applies a stat cap to you in PvP. And to figure that out, for example, you're just finding the average, right? So add all those up, so it's 4599 or 4599, and you divide it by 14, that comes out to 328.5. So as soon as it hits 0.5, it'll round you up. So ideally it would be 0.49, that's what you would want. However, unfortunately, the system doesn't work completely perfectly, so it's kind of impossible to achieve. So see what I am wearing is obviously shy of that. It's 23.43, but if you were to add up all my stuff, it wouldn't actually equal that. So it is a little off there. Now for those that want a simple route, I'll explain this real quick. What you need is to get the 330 blue from flashpoints, and you get that quest over here from Hyde. You cannot be in a group when you try to pick up this quest, because if you're in a group, he will not give you anything. If you do not have item rating, he will not give you anything, so just keep that in mind. So when you get that, you get it says get a deconstructed at 330 blue, right? And I'm gonna assume that you also have the other ones done, but let's say you don't, you need to get 328. Just get 2 of 328 purples from PvP, don't worry about upgrading your other pieces, and then you'll be able to get modded gear relatively easy. You can buy just as much as you would like from this vendor. It is subject to change. I don't know if that change will make it for the better or for the worse, or it'll just not change at all, and you can just get purple instead of blue. I assume they'll probably be the same stats, because if they aren't, it doesn't make much sense. But moving on, to explain it is how it works. So for example, once you get through 30 blues, the most important thing to actually upgrade here is the mods. And the reason why you want mods is because it gives you mastery and power for each upgrade. No other like equipment piece will give you also mastery and power. Enhancement's like the second best because it'll give you power and secondary stat. But unfortunately, the gain for secondary stat is not enough to really make a difference right now. We're not really close to anything. And I don't really recommend cutting too shy to, or not too shy, but too close to the alacrity cap, because having a little bit more than the alacrity cutoff point is actually really important. And it's just because of GCD lag. I wasn't a believer of it for a really long time. I'm still not like the biggest believer of it, but after parsing a lot last expansion on APPT, there are many times that I could have taken top parse on something and just been one GCD pretty much shy. And you can definitely look at my 6.3 APPT parses and you can see for yourself. You can go to the GCD tab, you can see the yellow ones is basically that ability took longer than it should have to go out. Obviously that has to do with server lag too, but alacrity does help mitigate server lag, so that's great. So I don't recommend going too close to it, right? So we'll get all through 30 mods. An alternative route is to get 2 of these. So you could use 2 of these and then you could just use 328 for both your implants, but this is easier. Most people aren't going to go get ricotta. I don't blame you guys. Nobody wants to do PvE when they just want to PvP, so you don't even have to worry about this. This is the optimal setup right here. So you just have to do Flashpoint, which, to be honest, pretty much every PvPer has probably done a crap ton of Flashpoints at this point. I'm sorry. It's more Hammer Station in your future if you want to do this. Thankfully, it's nowhere near as much Hammer Station as we used to have to do. So that's definitely good. So we've got 330 mods and everything. The only difference is that we have 330 barrel, armoring, or hilt. In my case, it's a hilt. The reason why we take the hilts is because this directly upgrades your key stats. You see at the top, your energy damage. This will directly upgrade that, and that means more, basically, damage. Just raw input damage. So these are the two most important things. And for like people that have shields or focus and generators, this will increase your tech damage or your force damage, or your force healing, I guess. Not really sure exactly what that's called. I think it's just force power or something. But you get the general idea. Hilts. So you can have 13 pieces total that you could upgrade, and it would include these. But what I'm doing here, so 13, we have 11 pieces. So there's 11 pieces here that are 330. So they're all mods, and then 2-barrel, or it's not 2 barrels because I'm not playing Powerjack. But I did a lot of this on Powerjack. Sorry, my brain is like scattered. So we do 2 hilts, right? And then we have 1 330. If you do want to get reduced costs on your implants, you need to have 2 330s, which I do have. But there's really not a necessity to do this if you don't want to. If you can get Ricotta, you don't have to waste your tech frags, but assuming if you can get Ricotta, you probably don't care about the tech frags. Because this game just bleeds tech frags for pretty much everything now, which is great. I wish this was what it was like in 6.0. It would be a lot more enjoyable. So we're using a 330 and then a 328. This allows us to get the most stats possible. So for example, let's say I was to do the other loadout. So I would take this out and I put that in, and then I'd take this out and I put that in, and then instead we'll put this one on instead of the 330. So this means we're wearing 2 330 or 328s. My bad. And then this would be like the stat difference. So for example, there's 1 power, there's a decent amount of mastery. I gain some critical, and then you see down here there's about 5 damage and bonus damage, if that makes sense. So it's a very marginal difference, and the non-Ricotta setup is better. So that's just for reference. If anybody wants to do it that way, let's say you don't have the tech frags just now, or just ready to, get another 328, for example, and that's pretty much it. I would say if you decided to not do the 330 thing and you used 328 implants, sorry, my brain is just, it's going boom. Instead of using the enhancements, you could use the arm ring. So let's say you didn't get the Ricotta, you could use the arm ring, and I would recommend putting the arm ring on your chest and your legs because it'll give you the most armor rating, and armor rating directly correlates to damage reduction, which I'll show you real quick. This is really important for tanks. Min-maxing for tanks is completely different in a way. Here it is. So armor rating. So I would gain a little extra armor. They might give me like a 0.2% or something like that. Not that much, right? But min-maxing is always really small changes, and that's basically what would happen. You would want to optimize your armor, because if you put it in your wrist and your belt, you're getting less armor. Obviously, that's not good. So the whole idea of min-maxing is trying to get the maximum out of it. I'm sure there are other combinations that you can get, but unfortunately, I don't think there's anything higher than 330 like gear that's moddable. So until that happens, I don't think there's anything better than this. But if there is, somebody feel free to share. This is my stats. I have 330 gold augments, so that is why my stats will differ. I'm using crit crystals, just so you guys know. So that's 82 critical off of like what I currently have, and that's my real crit in PvP. I assume that'll eventually get fixed. That's a very minor problem right now. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I appreciate you guys for watching.